My name is Professor Giovanni Muscascio, but you can call me Professor Gia, or some students prefer to call me Professor Muscash. I'm here today to introduce my fellow educators to the wild and wonderful world of geocaching. Geocaching is a fantastic way to combine adventure, mystery, problem solving and navigation all in one learning package. If you're still trying to figure out what geocaching is, allow me to elaborate. Geocaching comes from two words, geo for geography and cache for, well, a cache. What is a cache? A cache is a thing that is hidden or stored somewhere. Therefore, you combine the location or the geography with an object that is hidden or stored somewhere together to make geocaching. It is quite a bit like treasure hunting. You either hide the treasure or search for the treasure. And best of all, it can get you and your students up out of your seats and out of your classrooms where you've been gathering dust for far too long. So come, grab your things, get yourselves ready, and we'll head off for adventure. If you're going to be spending time outside, you must be properly equipped. For geocaching, you always want to wear the right kind of clothing for the right kind of weather. Sensible footwear. Something for the rain. An appropriate hat and jacket, of course. Water, in case you get dehydrated. In addition, you will need a flashlight in case you are stuck in the dark. You will need some items to place in a geocache, if you would like to do that. You will need a pencil and paper or a logbook for recording your thoughts or ideas, solving problems, or leaving messages for others. Another safety concern you must be aware of when geocaching is the fact that property is involved. You may be passing on to someone else's property, whether it's to leave a cache or access an existing cache. You must be respectful of the local laws around privacy and property. Keep this in mind at all times to avoid getting in trouble with the law. Now that you have all the equipment you need for going outside, we're ready to begin our geocaching adventure. Geocaching is like treasure hunting. When you're searching for treasure, you need a map. Traditionally, in order to orient on the map, you would need a compass and landmarks. For geocaching, we will use satellite technology. We call this system the Global Positioning System, also known as GPS. We use this system to help figure out where we are on the Earth at any given time. GPS coordinates are a unique identifier for a precise location on the Earth. Each coordinate is a representation of the intersection of two lines. Latitude, longitude. Latitude represents the distance from the equator. Longitude represents the distance from the prime meridian. These coordinates are represented with alphanumeric characters. Both formats are considered acceptable. Each one contains the distance from the equator and the distance from the prime meridian. Here we can see a depiction of the precise location of the Empire State Building. Now that you understand how to read a GPS coordinate, it's time to begin our geocaching. But of course, first we need to warm up with a good old-fashioned foot race. I've given you a coordinate. See if you can get there before me. Catch me if you can. Oh, you're here already. Seems I must have lost a step. Well, it's all right. If you found that easy, perhaps you won't find my 3-part geocache challenge so simple. Your first geocaching challenge is to locate an existing geocache. In order to do this, you will need to procure some technology. a cellular phone or a GPS device. If you choose to use a cellular phone, be aware that the data is not necessarily free. However, the geocaching app is. Once you've downloaded it, open an account, then utilise the map to locate a geocache in your area and search for it. If you choose to use the GPS device, the geocaching app can also be uploaded onto this device, and similarly you can locate a geocache that is nearby to your location. Now let me show you what it looks like to search for a geocache on the app on this phone. Here we are inside of the geocaching app. As you can see, I am the blue dot being identified by my phone's GPS locating device. As I zoom in, I can see that the nearest geocache is not very far from me. Now that we have located the geocache that we are going to find, let's tap on it and see what kind of information we see. As you can see, the difficulty level of this geocache is 2. The terrain is 1.5 out of 5, and its size is regular. Let's find it. We'll hit navigate, and we can see that we are approximately 22 meters from the cache. I will start to walk in the direction of the cache, and you will observe that my icon is getting closer and closer to the cache. 9 meters left. 4 meters left. It says it's in an old tobacco case. Watch this. Not bad. Come closer. Something to take, we can leave something also. If you have gotten to this point in the video, congratulations! You have successfully completed your first geocache challenge. It is now time to move on to challenge number 2. Your second geocache challenge will be to create your very own geocache, hide it, and collect the information to share with someone else. Your second geocaching challenge is to create your very own geocache. To do this, you will need to follow several steps. The first step is to acquire a weatherproof container. There are many types and sizes of weatherproof containers. For example, large, medium, and small. Each one of these containers may be utilised to hold objects, treasures, tokens, puzzles, or various other types of challenges. Here we see various types of items that can be left inside of the cache to be discovered. For example, you may give a problem that needs to be solved, or stickers of varying types that can be collected to prove that people were at your cache. Modelling clay could be left, requiring people to create a sculpture to prove that they were there and take a photo recording it. You may also ask them to write something in a coloured marker, or to take a particular type of coloured paper to prove, again, that they were on a specific location. They might be able to take a token like this, or a toy like this, or a coloured balloon like this. Many options so people can prove that they were at the cache and potentially do something while there. Now that you have your cache ready, it's time to find a place to hide them. Come on, let's go. Now that I've found a spot to place my cache, I'll use my GPS device to carefully record my coordinates. Now we can place our second cache. Remember to record your GPS coordinates carefully. And be secretive so no one sees where you hid it. Remember that it is not important that you use the Geocache app or even a GPS device. You can simplify everything because official geocaches and the Geocache app require special permission for them to be registered. Educators may find that it is more useful for you to create your own geocache and put them somewhere temporarily close to the school. To do this, all you need is something simple like a map function with location services on your phone. Let's look at Google Maps, for example. If I tap on Google Maps, it opens and it shows me where I am right now. If I hold that button down and I drop a pin, you can see that the GPS location is indicated right here. If I record that information, I can use that as the location of my geocache that I put down there, very simply. Similarly, when I want to go find a geocache, I can input that information, the GPS coordinates, and find my way there using a very simple map application on your phone. To demonstrate exactly what I mean, I will now hide this shovel in a specific GPS location, gather the coordinates, record them, and then try and find the shovel again. Let's go. Now that I'm here, I can very simply touch on my Google Maps on the blue dot where I'm located. Now I can very simply copy these coordinates, which are the GPS coordinates for the shovel. Then I'll leave. I will simply input and paste the location that I copied over there. I'll hit search and you'll see this is the distance right now between where I am, or really where the phone is, and where the shovel is hidden. I will now hand this phone to a student who will attempt to locate the hidden shovel using the Google Maps. If you have got to this point in the video, it means you have completed your second geocache challenge. Congratulations. It is now time to move on to your third challenge. In this geocache challenge, you will be asked to exchange your geocache information with those of other students and educators. Ideally, there is a big group of you, and you will end up with all the other geocache challenges that they have created for you, creating a circuit or larger map for you to find, solve, and enjoy. For educators, the advantage of the third geocache challenge is that you combine many different elements together at whatever level of complexity you wish. Once you have multiple students and multiple caches, you create a circuit, and this gives the students a large opportunity to have an adventure, to solve problems, to explore. Remember that each cache can be connected to a particular theme that's unified, or to specific outcomes that the teacher wishes the students to learn, or the subject matter, mathematics, science, geology, music, whatever subject you want can be incorporated into a geocache. Students might have to solve a problem when they get to the geocache. They might have to create a map. It is very diverse and can cover many types of learners and levels of complexity. Best of all, it's a treasure hunt, so students will get inspired. They can race, they can work together as teams. Whatever inspires you and your students, this is the way to go. Here we see an example of two students who have prepared their own geocache. Next, they will be exchanging their instructions to the other team so that they can go and find each other's geocache. Now they will go and place their geocache. Now, we will witness each of the teams struggling to find the other team's geocaching. Let's see how they do. Now we're at the end where there's only one geocache left to find and two teams who have yet to locate it. It's a race. Who will get it first? Congratulations! You've completed your third geocaching challenge. Do you know what this means? It means you now understand the basics of navigation using GPS technology. This means that the wonderful world of geocaching has been unlocked. You are now free to express your creativity by creating your own geocache or exploring the boundless mysteries of the universe by searching for geocaches. I hope you have enjoyed our video today. I, Professor Giovanni Mustcascio, thank you for your time. I bid you adieu into the wonderful world of geocaching.
Hey teachers, you still here? Awesome. Check out the links below for an entire presentation on how you can add this to your classroom. I'm going to give you a preview of this presentation as well as take a look at some of those cross-curricular connections. So in our presentation, you can go over with your students what geocaching is, what's involved, really highlighting that individual and group work. And I want to point out that geocaches are everywhere. You're almost guaranteed to find one within a couple hundred meters of your school. The ones located on geocaching.com are public ones. For your school, for your class, you may choose to do ones that are findable by everybody in the community, or you might just keep them to yourselves. If you're keeping them to yourselves, just don't upload them to a geocaching website. You can just track those coordinates, even using Google Maps, as Professor Mustcascio showed us. Go over with your students the different cache sizes, cache prizes, whether it's swag or trackables. Trackables could be a fun thing for your classroom. See where your geotags have gone. You can look at difficulties, terrain types, what to expect when actually finding them and how to read them, a breakdown of the difficulty levels, geocaching rules to go over with your students, some tips. Keep in mind that geocaches will never be buried, so make sure your students aren't burying their geocaches. Safety considerations. This is a map showing where those geocaches are and how many there are. Talk with your students about how GPS works, the pitfalls of GPS and when it doesn't work. Take a look at your geocaching navigation options. All right, here's the meaty part. What you're looking for, those curriculum connections. Main skills, of course, are going to be map reading and navigation. What class are you teaching? I got you covered. If you're doing math, you could be doing perimeters, areas, you could do distances. For social studies, you could do historical tours, you could create narratives around the geocaching locations. For science, you could mark your geocaches could be near different species that you want the students to identify. For language arts, you could do a story, or you could have different parts of a story that they need to gather all the different parts from all the different geocaches and then put them together at the end. For art, you could do photo safaris, sculptures, all kinds of fun things, looking at different places for inspiration. Phys ed, I mean, hey, you're going to be running around. That's an easy one. Cooking class, yeah, cooking class. Place ingredients, recipes out there. For counseling, you're working on teamwork, problem-solving activities. There's always opportunities there. Music, again, you can look for musical clues or rhythms. You can even take a recorder out and maybe make a musical piece out of that. I have a couple more activities here. I'll let you check them out. We'll add more as we get more ideas from you as well. So make sure you share in the descriptions below how you've used geocaching in your classroom. So thank you very much for joining us. This is us cashing out.